Hi, my name is Katie Carlson, and this is my demonstration of my first UI project for my user interface engineering class. This is a word finder application that I can use to search for words in a list. And I use HTML and JavaScript to do this. So we were given these instructions when assigned the project. We had a layout we had to follow, which included a find bar, input field to type in queries, a clear button, and a resizable scroll box with the list of words. We were told to use HTML, JavaScript, and jQuery for this project. As you can see, this is my code. I have two versions of the program. One is called wordfinder.html and the other is called wordfinder2.html. The reason I have two files is because the second file is the same application, but with a larger list of words and also lazy loading implemented so that the program won't lag with the larger amount of words in the list. So yeah, and then I also made the two have different color schemes just to show that they're different programs. Um, okay. These are the files we were given. I didn't use the jQuery code given because my code didn't work well with it. So I instead used an updated script of jQuery that I found it online, and it worked better with my code, so that's what I used. I also changed the two JSON files to JavaScript files, as I found that also worked better with my code. Um, so yeah, I kept a dictionary .js. I kept that JavaScript file because it still worked. That still worked fine. But I just used the functions within it in two separate JavaScript files that I made, and there's one for each program. One of them's called loadingwords.js, and then the other one is called lazyload.js. And I use the word small dot JS for one of them, and then the words large dot JS file for the other. So one of them goes to for one program, one goes for the other, and they're just like a list of words, but just a different amount of words in them. So apart from the differences I already described, apart from that, my two programs have very similar HTML structure. I specify the CSS style first, like in the heading. Um, and I load all the scripts in the head section. I actually loaded the jQuery query first, but then the rest of the scripts are at the bottom. And then in the body, I used a bunch of divs in order to display the actual elements on my web page. So yeah, with that being said, oh, and I'm using Visual Studio Code, by the way. That's the IDE I'm using. So without that out of the way, I'm going to start my first program, which is the first word finder HTML. I made the color scheme of this one's a bunch of dark blues, and I gave the background a nice gradient. I like to be fancy with how I design things, so yeah. Anyway, to start off the interface, I have a statement at the top that describes what the website is about, and then I have one at the bottom that basically credits the web page to me. And then I have the actual main parts of the application in between these two. And in them, I basically tried my best to emulate the interface we were given, which is right here. So to try to compare, I have the find bar, I have the input field, I have the clear button, and then I have the scroll box with the words underneath it all. Um, and I'm also able to resize it like this. The amount of words present in the list is also listed at the top of the scroll box. So yeah, and then next up is the search function. So when I type in words in the input field, the box will, with the list, updates to include only the words that fit the query. So in this case, any words that have the two letters HI, like one after the other. So the amount of words in the list also changes when this happens. And so if I do something like this, where the query doesn't fit any of the words present in the list just becomes empty. And I can also press the clear button, which will clear the input field, and it restores the list and displays the whole thing over again. And finally, when I click a word, it highlights the line that the word is on, and that makes it clear that this is the user the user clicked on, the word the user clicked on. Well, not necessary. I also included I had a function that displays the word that was clicked at the top. So as you can see, it changes depending on what word I click on. So yeah, I didn't need to do that, but I just added a note. Okay. And then on to my next file, which is wordfinder2.html. This basically has the same functionality as the first program, but it supports a larger list of words. Like if you saw earlier, the first program only supported about like 800 or so. I think it was like 850, and then this one supports for 45,000. And basically, the reason it's able to do this without lagging is because of the lazy loading, which I'm demonstrating here. So lazy loading is when the web page waits to load certain things until they are needed. In this case, the web page isn't displaying literally all of the words, it's only displaying the ones that the user scrolls to. And this way it prevents the web page from lagging. I also made this grayscale as opposed to blue just to show that they're different programs, but if you see, it's the exact same functionality. And yeah.